Um, so I actually had a different name for this video. I have a bunch of Paladins videos that are like half scripted, but I'm not happy with how they are scripted. So basically the best thing that I came up with was just to simply try and wing it with a couple of bits and pieces. There's a couple of things I want to put out first. I am actually going to be trying to do a ranked grind for the next 7 days. I did a pretty big jump in TP and I hit Diamond 2. And I really just don't want my frame to be that frame you get at the end of the year for being as a rank. I don't want it to be Diamond. I absolutely cannot stand Diamond. So now I have to pretty much like try and grind back up to Masters just because of the fact I've hated Diamond so much. I hated Diamond last year when I was in Master and I didn't get my frame because I didn't bother playing the 200 games. You had to win 200 games to get that frame, and I hit Master early in the year and I got burned out with ranked and I'm like, fuck this, I'm not playing this. So I was like, I think I had like 140 wins on the season total in ranked. And I just like, I did not care to get the 60. But I do want to get that Grok skin. I want that Chieftain Grok. So I am going for that. It is play 200 games. So that should be pretty easy. Win or lose, I could get that. But I am going to try and get a Masters. Get up to Master. So for the next 7 days, I'm going to be playing a bunch of ranked games. I'm letting you know because I might have something later. But this video was originally going to be called something else. It was going to be a video on Frontlines called Frontlines, Flank or Tank. But realistically, you know, I've been getting called out a lot because I've been having to play a lot of my healers, notably Grok, as a tank character because of the lack of actual tanks right now in the game. And this is another problem that I've been seeing because of the DPS meta that we are on. I basically spent most of last night playing TDM Onslaught just because I got so sick and tired of, in a game mode designed for tanks, not seeing a single tank. You look at this game, this is a loss. There's no tank on the other side. You look at this game, this is a loss. No tank on the other side. If you look at this game, one of the Amani games, this is the Amani game, they had a tank on that side. But he spent most of the game flanking, believe it or not. That's TDM Onslaught. Where is the Amani game here? No, that was the tank one. But pretty much yesterday was just all DPS. And even an Onslaught. You know, an Onslaught, I can forgive not having a tank sometimes. Because it is basically a glorified version of TDM. But then the problem's been another thing. You know, I've been getting called out a lot. And it's a bit annoying to me because, especially in a game when people say, you know, hey, you need to be doing this. You get healers that try and play damage. You get tanks that try and flank. You get flanks that try to tank. And you get damages that try to fly. Like, it's just so ridiculous. So this is the first thing I want to mention. I'm going to hit all 4 categories. I'm going to try and keep this like around 12 minutes. So let's try and just jump right in. So for all you healers out there, for all you support mains, yeah, stop. Stop doing this shit. And you know what it is, okay? Now, Damba is one of the highest healers in the game. He does have good DPS and stuff like that. Do not pick 2 healers unless one is going heals and one is going damage. And even then, you have to run the risk of cauterize because of it. And no, 2 damage healers. You cannot have a Maelstrom Grop and a Catalyst Pip and say, oh, we'll be fine, we'll have enough healing between the 2 damages. Stop doing that shit. And for the people that still say that Grok and Pip are damages, you're wrong. They have 2 of the higher healing outputs in the game. Pip requires a lot of skill to get that higher healing, but early in game, he is a great healer until Cauterize comes into play. He's very similar to Grover, where Grover right now is considered to be this big, overpowered juggernaut that they had to nerf. You know, Pip doesn't have the range that Grover does, but he has an even stronger heal until you buy Cauterize late in game. I'm surprised we don't see more Pips out there, believe it or not, with how strong Pip is right now. And then I see Sniper Grovers. And then I see Exterminate Furies. We had a Fury yesterday. She got 32k healing. I don't know who the fuck she was healing because she hit me 1 time all game with a Ren Soul. And she's just running Exterminate. And she's sitting there trying to just stun flanks that come get her. And all the flanks bought resilience and she was done. One problem that most supports don't realize is that your character is heavily dependent on CC if you go for damage in most cases. Ceres is a great example. If you're going damage, she's affected by CC. Furia, if you're going damage, she's affected by CC. If you're going Damba and you go damage, he's affected by CC. If you go Pip and you go damage, he's affected by CC. Ying, Grok, Grover, they're like the only supports that aren't really affected by this. You know, Genos, it's a slippery slope. If you're running a Power Cosmian build, yes, you're affected by it. If you are not, you're not. Now, one problem is the supports have a very high damage weapons. They also have some pay-to-win skins and weapons. For example, the Gold Star Splitter is slightly less damage fall off at range. Soul Eater, that's faster fire rate, that does affect binary. Gentleman's Courtesy, that's even faster fire rate, but it doesn't affect binary. So it pretty much becomes, you know, if you want Soul Eater or you want that, you know, there are a lot of champions with these types of pay-to-win skins. We're not going to talk about that because, of course, Hi-Rez is still denying this shit, so that's a video for another time. Maybe this will get flagged with another DMCA takedown. But supports need to, like, stop playing so much damage. Like, I mean, they do have high damage output. Maldamba, if you are running Wakona's Curse, or even a Wakona's Wrath with stun spam, you can do a lot of damage with that. But I think the big problem a lot of people don't really realize is you are the only people in the game, other than Moji, Sky, and Khan, that can heal. Khan has the strongest heal out of the group with 1,000 heal in a small AoE. Sky has a longer lasting heal that's 400 health per second if you stand in the small area, and Moji is the weakest, having a 600 heal in a small duration behind her. And they're solid healing abilities, but they're nowhere near the primary healing ability. You know, this is not a 1,200 heal every 8 seconds in an AoE. This is not a 2,000 heal at range. You know, this is not how these abilities work. By the way, I'm also very glad that they fixed the text on Ceres, because it actually shows the slight buff that Ceres got to her healing, and I wanted to mention that. It used to be you would heal them for 2,000 health over 2 seconds, so it was 1,000 health per second. They've actually boosted that because of Mortal Reach. So they've increased the duration by 1 second. And they've increased the health, but the health, it no longer heals like 3,000 health, just to make that clear. And I see a lot of times support champions just not healing. And the problem is you have to realize you are the only champions in the game that can heal other than Khan and Sky and Moji. So then we move on to the second category. Well, supports often get spam need healing, which is why they burn out and they don't play support. So that brings your next question to mind. So then, well, look at the supports. You've got 2 champions that support. Why are 2 flanks that can heal? Why are the flank champions always spamming need healing? Well, because most people that play flank are stupid. Most people that play flank don't realize. I'm sorry if that seems blunt. It is. I don't know how many times I have a fucking Eevee that is spamming me. Need healing. Need healing. Need healing. Okay, Eevee, you could heal yourself for 375 every 3 seconds and 250 health per second in Ice Block if you put 5 points into those cards. A lot of Eevees don't want to do that, but you can pick one or the other. You know, you have 2 abilities you can use to heal yourself with. So, like, that is just an annoying thing for me. Most flanks have high sustain options to heal themselves. The big thing with flanks, though, is I see a lot of flanks having to tank. And they do have the capability. Eevee, between her Ice Block, which is damage immunity for 3 seconds, constant, she can run, Wormhole and get a double blink, basically, and she has her soar, she can fly around, and she can contest for long areas of time. And that's really what a flank tank is. Or a tank flank, I should say. A tank flank. They are not trying to capture the point. They're trying to contest the point. My Moji got legendary off of my ability to magic barrier, get a heal in between there somehow, kill someone, get a reset on the magic barrier, and just basically defend a point by constantly creating windows of opportunity Hardy har har. I know where you're going. Where I could actually defend the point and defend myself pretty effectively. You'll have to apologize with me pacing. It's just more effective for me to talk. Skye, because she could just stand invisible on the point, you know, is very effective at something like that. Xin has so many options at his disposal. He can basically deflect any one attack off of him. Pretty much, he can counter anything like except a Genosol and a Drogo's ult. He can whirl between targets, and they have moderately low cooldowns. And then he has Billow, which he can use to become untargetable for 2 seconds, and that can go up to 4 seconds. And then if you're running Guillotine, you can actually use your ult as a way to become damage immune. If you get the ult right, you can survive a Sky Bomb, a Terminus ult, a Dredge ult, etc. because of that damage immunity you get while you are ulting someone, and it guarantees a kill pretty much. These are examples of why flanks have to tank. Well, why should a flank have to tank? Well, that brings us to the main point of the argument. And just to bring this full circle, I do not like when a damage champion flanks, but damages and flanks are pretty similar. For example, Drogo's is basically an in-air flank. Willow, she does have good mobility in her kit for loadouts and stuff like that. Loadout cores to boost movement speed make her very effective at doing that. Amani and Dredge, you know, not so much, but even Tyra can use her ult to do some flanking. She can buy Nimble. Vivian's got 30% movement speed. Victor's got the ability to sprint. You know, Shaolin does have really good flanking potential. Even Strix, if he goes invisible and buys Nimble, he can do that. But that's pretty much, damages and flanks are kind of interchangeable. I see, a lot of times when I'm playing Lex or Buck, I end up doing very low kill numbers, but high damage, because I'm actually focused more on trying to burst targets down than get an individual kill. This brings us to the last point of the tanks. And then we hit the 12-minute mark and I got to tanks, so I'll take that as a win. Should the tank be on the point or not? And this is a controversial issue. I see a lot of pro people playing Barrack, and they sit there off the point and they say, no, you fight on the side and you get a pick. And I hate that strategy. Get on the point. Get on the point. Barrack is often considered to be a solo tank. He is a slightly less tankier character, but he is a solo tank. He is meant to sit on the point and defend the point very well. Again, Anara is the premier tank in the game for point defense. Bar none. She gets on the point first, she establishes shop, and if she has a good healer or a good DPS, she doesn't even need both. She just needs a good healer or a good DPS, and she is able to control that point. A good DPS to get some pressure off of her. And this is the thing I've been having a problem with, is when I play flank, I want a tank on point to create a point fight. This enables me as a flank to attack. I had this yesterday. I had a Makoa that was flanking, trying to get a pick at the beginning of the game, saying, what are you doing? Go right, get a pick. The problem was, the enemy team is all DPS. Do you know where they are? They're on the point. He is trying to get a pick. The problem with that is, he's trying to get a pick. He doesn't get a pick, he gets burned down, because he is fighting off the point. He is fighting away from where the enemy team is. He's trying to get the enemy team to come to him as a tank to get a pick. He's not running Pluck. He's not running Leviathan. He's running Half Shell. And he's trying to do this shit. We have two flanks on the team. Emoji and a Skye. They both get more objective time than he does. The Skye is top objective time in the game. We still lost the game. But the Skye is on the point. Poison Bolt one person, infinite ammo shoots the other person. Plain and simple. Getting picks on the point. We figure that gets Makoa on the point. I'm playing Emoji. I can't flank. I need an opening. Especially because the part of the map we're playing on is very exposed. For me to traverse that ground as Emoji, I need a point fight. I have 3 people looking down my way trying to murder me. I'm not getting there. I'm not getting there without losing half my health. And if I've lost half of my health already, I've already pushed up to get over there. Lost half my health, burned magic barrier, got healed, doesn't matter, because now I'm still at about 75% of my health before I've even done a lick of damage. And I'm going to take somebody with me. I'm Moji. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to take somebody with me. But it's a problem for me when I play flank. And this is why I've stopped playing flank. This is why I have a level 50 Fernando. And why I have a 52 Inara. And why I have a 50 COD. I have 152 levels between 3 tanks. And if you throw in Terminus, that's almost 200 between each level. And I am trying to grind Terminus up to gold. Okay, basically, if I want to be generous and round up, I have 100, it's exactly 195. 195 levels between 4 tanks because of the fact that I've had to stop playing flank. I used to be a really good Maeve player. I find her unplayable now. Moji's a character that I can still play. I'm still awesome with Moji. It's just a matter of, you know, I don't like spamming Moji all the time. I used to be much better on Xin and Sky and Buck and Andro. They were some of my favorite flanks to play. And it's just because I can no longer play with that flank mentality, because now I need the distraction. If I'm actually trying to flank and not play as a tank. I've had to play Tank Moji so many times. I used to have a build called Tank Moji. It's ridiculous. Now, that's not to say that frontlines can't flank. Let me make it clear. Frontlines can flank if you're running 2 flanks. If we had Makoa and Fernando, I would have had no problem with the Makoa trying to be on the side and get a pick. We have the Fernando on the point. But I see this a lot. And Stone Keep used to be the old map that I hated. I hated to play healer on Stone Keep. Because if I saw a Ruckus, if I saw a Makoa, if I saw a Nendo, or if I saw a Torvald, I fucking knew. I was the tank. I have so many screenshots of me playing Grover and Grok, even fucking Genos, and getting most objective time on our team, and winning, because the tank is sitting there flanking. And it wasn't an easy win. It was a 4-3 win with overtime on every tap, and it came down to my ability to generate an ult. It came down to my ability to be able to do that. I had a frontline Genos game where the only reason we won is I had timed my morale boost and my ult charge so perfectly. I would get an ult at the beginning. I would use my ult that I generate at the end of a round because I knew we couldn't push it. I would use that at the very beginning of the game. I'd get like 2 kills, cap the point for a little bit. Of course, I get burned down because the tanks are over there sitting on the point dying, spamming need healing, and they refuse to touch the point. And I wasn't willing to retreat because I had another ult that's ready to go, basically. By the time I get out of spawn, they've almost capped the point. I get out, bam, ult them all off point, finish off any stragglers, and I would do this. Is that me playing damage Genos? No. Was I still healing the tanks, even though they were flanking? Yes, I'm Genos. I heal through walls. But because I'm also a Genos, they're thinking, oh, I'm not a primary healer. Which, that's kind of true. Genos, in my opinion, has the lowest sustained healing in the game. And that is a video I will talk about later on. You be on the lookout for that. But basically, to wrap this video up, if you have 2 tanks, one can flank. But if you have 2 tanks and both are flanking, what is wrong with you? I've seen people that say Inara is the best flank tank in the game, and I laugh my ass off. Like, you do not understand how this character works if you're trying to flank. And I get what they're saying, because she does have a loadout card where you can knock yourself up into the air, you can buy Nimble, obviously, and she's very effective because of her high health pool, her good damage reduction, and her decent DPS. But the problem with that is if you are just deciding, hey, you know what, I'm going to take this big tank character and I'm going to have them fucking flank, that's a waste of everyone else's time and energy. It's the same thing when you get 2 supports that decide to go damage. It's the same thing when you get a full DPS lobby that decides they don't want to put damage on point. In a point-based game, you have to realize you live and you die by the point that you sit on. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.